You know, it's endlessly disconcerting to be such a blank inside before I push the record button, to really not have any idea what wants to come forth. It's interesting. Mostly I'm moving along, and I don't stop to pay much attention to that. But I've been going deeper lately into heart, into consciousness. How about you? Do you have any crystals in your home, in your pocket? Have you noticed any difference since the crystal activation so recently? I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I feel so much energy coursing through me that it's almost as if I drank coffee all day, every day. It's almost like gritting your teeth, you know, as if you're taking speed or something. I don't even know if they call it that anymore. When I was a teenager, we did. But of course, I'm not taking anything. And I'm down to 1 cup of coffee a day. So I don't know. It takes some time with with all the big changes we keep going through. What's time, huh? You hardly catch your breath, and there's another change, not just on the horizon, but here. Here it is. Here we are. So, I guess I'll read a journal to you. It's we just started another Mayan Trecena a few days ago, and I wrote this on that day. It's the 5th day out of 13 now. Today is 5 star or rabbit. But this was written on 10/17/2010, third one of that day. The Mayan day was 1 seed or lizard. So the seed or lizard energy is that which will carry us through the Trecena. It's called Mayan Trecena, Solfeggio scale, and Cymatics. Okay, it's the start of a new Trecena, a 2-week period, and it deserves some mention. So, a quick journal for that. This one will be quite different than the one that just passed, the last Trecena. Well, I'm tempted to say praise God for that, but I guess I won't. Just being humorous. After all, everything's really perfect, even when the going gets intense. Maybe especially so, though we don't generally see that at the time. So this should be a good period for the multiplication and abundance, the spread of things. That's what seed energy does. It should be more of an uplifting period than the last Trecena. Each one is different, of course. They also intersect with what the cosmos is doing at the time. The star positions, the aspects, the sunspots, solar flares, and the like. So the picture overall is a bit more complex, but of course, yet by following the simple Trecenas, one can get a tune-up, get into the flow, become aware of that. However they got it doesn't matter. In my book, the Maya had a heck of a calendar system, and it pays to spend a little time with it. If you want to dive deeper, the link to Mayan magics is at the top of each transcript on Scribd. Well, except for the really old ones. Speaking of getting a tune-up, I wonder how many of you are aware that even our musical scale has been tampered with by the dark side. Did you know that? How many of you have heard of the Solfeggio scale? It's the ancient frequencies expressed in hertz that the notes were once tuned to long ago. At one point, a few centuries ago, the Catholic Church threw in a monkey wrench and ruined the thing. Do Google it. Dr. Leonard Horowitz, in his own way, is rather a nut, but then so am I, so are many of us, as we speak out. So, will you be too, perhaps, as you fully wake up? Just like David Icke even, you lose all fear of what people think, what they say, as you follow your heart. All those ones I named went quite different ways and offer their different specialties, but we've all got something to learn from each other. So, though he didn't invent it or discover it, Dr. Len Horowitz has some excellent lectures where he goes into some detail explaining and demonstrating the new notes. And of course, links are in the transcript, or just Google his name or the Solfeggio scale. Then too, you can go to the YouTube site of another rowdy individualist who makes use of this scale, calls herself Jezebel Decibel. She puts good info in her description fields on her work. She works with the brainwaves. So many these days are returning their instruments to the old scale. It is said that by playing the ancient songs, and in particular one is often mentioned about John the Baptist, a musical piece, people would actually be lifted up, would get a spiritual high off of the music. And it had something to do with the notes. Something else to look into with regard to this is cymatics. Have you ever heard of it? No, it's the wonderful science of the effect of sound upon matter, and with visual demonstrations as proof. It's impressive. It's totally amazing. If you haven't run across either of these things, then you've got a real treat ahead of you. Go for it. And that is, of course, if your heart leads you to this. Always follow that first. Sound. Sound as the power of creation. Knowing the name of as being equal to having power over that one. All very intriguing stuff. Just don't let your mind carry you away in this, okay? Stick to the heart. These people who have this knowledge, you will often find that they're in head more than in heart. Maybe not. David Icke's latest work is pretty much from the heart, and Len Horowitz is certainly a heart-centered guy a lot of the time. Nonetheless, I want my audience to be experts in being in heart. I expect you to be better than everyone at this. Just stay with me long enough to get the knack of it. Then go off on your own. You'll do fine. I just want to help launch you. Making that solid heart connection, there's simply nothing better on the earth than that. And I kid you not, especially these days. It comes before everything else. Heck, it contains everything else. Heart contact, heart vision. It changes literally everything. You will find yourselves living in a different world than the rest. yet while being right here, still totally different. You will transform in ways maybe equal to your courage to do the transforming, to let it happen. There are no limits for you. The options are tremendous, but you've got to be willing to face your stuff. You'll spend some time with your sorry, but that's what it will be. I don't want to sugarcoat it. If you think you can get there by going around your garbage, well, good luck with that. I don't think anyone's been successful that way yet, but you're certainly welcome to try. We all do. Heck, you may even be the first one. And I'd listen to you if it turned out that way. Just see if I wouldn't. We've got to remain open, to remember that literally anything is possible. Mustn't let mind get a hold of that line, though. Mind will mangle and mess it up every time. It is not linear at all. No wisdom is linear. Mind is linear. Knowledge is linear. Get my drift? I'm sure you do. Later then. I surely love you guys. Thanks for being. Thanks for watching. And thanks for reading. Mostly I'm moving along, and I don't stop to pay much attention to that. But I've been going deeper lately into heart, into consciousness. How about you? Do you have any crystals? They call it that anymore. When I was a teenager, we did. But of course, I'm not taking anything. And I'm down to 1 cup of coffee a day. So I don't know. It takes some time with with all the big changes we keep going through. I feel so much energy coursing through me that it's almost as if I drank coffee all day, every day. It's almost like gritting your teeth, you know, as if you're taking speed or something. I don't even know if, you know, it's endlessly disconcerting to be such a blank inside before I push the record button, to really not have any idea what wants to come forth. It's interesting. In your home, in your pocket, have you noticed any difference since the crystal activation so recently? I don't know. I mean, I don't know.